Does he have to ask permission to do something with his friends? Technically, no. And I know what comments like these are trying to do, right? Like they're trying to posit me as this controlling, toxic person that rules his life and keeps him from seeing his friend. And that's just not true. He asked me if he can do things with his friends as a courtesy because we are in a partnership together. He asked me if he can do things with his friends as a consideration for the fact that we might have plans as a couple. I might have planned something for us to do. We might have household responsibilities that we need to tend to first. And for the simple fact that it's nice to be asked. The answer will always be yes, unless there is some sort of extenuating circumstance. Like I was planning on surprising him with a reservation for breakfast. Like I need to remind him that we made plans to babysit my nephews. Something like that, you know? The answer will never be no, just because I don't want him to go somewhere. And he knows that, and we have that sort of trust established in our relationship that it's really not a big deal. It's really odd to me how incensed people get over this. We live together. We've built a life together. The least we can do is show each other some common courtesy. And when he asks to do something with his friends, he isn't really asking. It's sort of like going through the motions, if you know what I mean. He's telling me he's going to go do something with his friends, but he's informing me so that if I do need to say something, if I have a reason that he shouldn't do that, then I have an opening. And because it's nice to feel considered, it's nice to feel asked. That's what a relationship is making somebody feel considered and thought about. Now, there probably are some relationships where asking for permission to hang out with friends is toxic. And if somebody is constantly telling you you're not allowed to hang out with your friends, that's a problem. But when you have a relationship like mine, where he says, I would like to hang out with my friends, is that okay with you? And I say, yes, every single time, it's just a non-issue. He gets to hang out with his friends. I feel honored and considered. I have a heads up so I can make a plan for myself so that I'm not just sitting around by myself all day, which is another aspect of this, which is not giving your spouse or your partner a heads up that you're doing something and kind of leaving them in a lurch. It's just communicating. It's just like sharing your plans and checking in with each other. And I also think people respond so viscerally to this because they're like, you're not gonna tell me what to do. Nobody's ever gonna tell me what to do. And that feels like that's coming from somewhere else because it's not allowing somebody to tell you what to do. It's not having somebody infringe on your independence. It's just being considerate and thoughtful of the person that you share a home with, that you share a life with, who should always be considered in everything that you're doing. Because otherwise, what's the point? And if you're not ready to consider somebody in every single aspect of your life, you might not be ready for a serious relationship, and that's okay. But the way that I personally see love is that you are considering your person, particularly when your lives are so entwined, because you know that everything that you do impacts them, and you care about that. You care about how it impacts them. That's all. Just something to think about.